You don't need to be rich, jacked, or famous to make women obsess over you. You just need to understand one thing: why mystery and unavailability trigger their attraction more than anything else.
We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
It's true. It's damn true. Happy hump day, gentlemen. Are you ready for Halloween on Friday? Got your costumes, your party plans? What do you guys got going on? Let me know in the chat or the comments. Let's talk about not being so damn available today and why not being so available actually makes you more attractive to women. You see, it's been scientifically proven that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. Don't just take my word for it. Google it. Okay. But that's sort of what we're going to be talking about today. And before we get into it, if you are new to the channel, my name is Paul Bauer. I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make us better men in all areas of our lives. What is up with this microphone? I don't know. I don't like where it's at. All right, let's kick this off. Okay. Now, when you say this sort of thing, you're going to get women saying, that's not true. That's not true. Men are hunters. They're supposed to chase. I want a man to pursue me. Okay. But what do most guys do? They are the hunters. They chase, they pursue women, and women are like cats. If you chase a cat, it will run away. Okay. But if you ignore a cat, it wants to know why you're ignoring it. And then it comes up and sits on your lap and shows you its butthole. Okay. That's how it works. All right. So women are kind of like a paradox. And the moment you stop being at a woman's beck and call is the moment that they start investing more and trying to get your attention. And just before we started today, I had a flashback to a clip that I saw with Morgan Freeman. He was on the Piers Morgan show a couple of years ago, and he said it very well. And I was like, I got to get this clip. So let me just play this real quick for you.
Don't chase women.
Really?
They'll chase you.
Is that your strategy?
Yeah.
Does it work?
Works very well. I'm going to get in trouble for saying this because...
Explore this technique for me. So what is the technique of letting them chase you? How do you make yourself known as potentially available?
Just don't do it. Don't, you meet a lady, you express to her how wonderful she looks or how you respond to the way she looks or whatever it is, and then go on about your business.
And does it ever fail?
Curious, they're like horses in a pasture sometimes. You walk into a pasture and the horse sees you. He's coming over to investigate. And if you see a lady and you don't go, drooling all over her, she's going to want to know why.
Exactly. Why? Why are you acting different than all these other guys? All these other guys are drooling over me. What's up with you? And that's what gets them curious, right? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Not drooling all over women and sort of letting them come to you. And it's counterintuitive. It goes against everything you've probably been told about going after women, right? But we're going to talk about that today. You got to be a little bit of a mystery. And that's why that's what makes you irresistible when you're unavailable, because you're not constantly trying to push for her time and attention. You're making her want your time and attention, right? Guys, before we get too far into this, do like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It sets you apart, right? So like I said before, what are most guys doing? They're chasing approval. They're trying to get a woman's time and attention. They're texting her all day, trying to, if I don't text her every day, she's going to forget about me. She's going to forget about me. No, dude. No, actually, this is how it works. All right. I talked a little bit about this on Monday about how you can't just change your behavior. I was talking about texting and how I learned this. Well, it was It was literally the same part in the book of Atomic Attraction that I really learned this. So what was happening in the book was this gal went to like a trade show or something, and or a conference or something like that, some kind of business event, and she met two guys, and she gave her number to both guys, because that's how women are. Okay, women aren't just talking to you; they're talking to a bunch of guys at a time, and most guys are just sniper dating. Anyway, so she gives her number to two guys, and one guy sends her a text message like, "Hey, here's my number. Now you have my number too. Whatever." And then the other guy texts her, and he starts texting her good morning, and it texts her a play-by-play, like, I just ate a ham sandwich, I just went to the gym, I just took a shit, I don't know, like whatever. Oh man, that's not the 8-minute mark. Guys, you can send super chats, would you? Anyway, so the guy that is texting her all day, he finally gets up the courage to ask her on a date, and she agrees. But the thing is the whole time she's like, why hasn't this other guy been texting me this whole time? Because, she gave her number to two different guys, and one guy is blowing up her phone, constantly trying to get her attention. And the other guy is like, here's my number, I'll talk to you later. Right? Well, at the end of the week, the guy had a date set up with the guy who was texting her all the time, had a date set up with her on Friday. And next thing you know, like last minute, the guy who she's been thinking about the whole time, because he hasn't been texting her, reaches out near the end of the week. He's like, yeah, I was just on a business trip, but I'm back in town. I'd love to hang out with you tomorrow night if you're available. It happened to be the same night that she had planned already with this other guy. And she's like, well, I haven't heard from this guy all week. I better jump on this opportunity because I don't know when I'm going to hear from him again. This other guy's a sure thing. He's texting me all the time. So it's okay if I blow him off and go out with this guy. Now, if you're the kind of guy who's been on the dating circuit and you're wondering why you're getting ghosted and you're like, I don't get it, you're probably over texting. Okay. This is why I say you want to banter. Like, let's say you're on a dating app, right? You want to banter no more than 10, 15-minute messages max before finding a segue to set a definite date. And then once you get a date set with the girl, stop texting her. Okay. You need to build up some anticipation before the date by being a little bit of a mystery. If you're texting all day long, you're subcommunicating that you have nothing better going on in your life. You're subcommunicating you have no other options. And that's unattractive to women. Okay. Women's pre-selection requires you to be a guy of options, and you having more options makes you more attractive. Even if you don't have any other options, the appearance that you do is attractive to women. Okay. So it sets you apart because most men are chasing approval, and the rare man who doesn't give off of a sense of power and control or the rare man who doesn't gives off a sense of power and control that women can feel. They can feel this, and it makes them curious. Just like Morgan Freeman said, it makes them a little bit curious. Another thing too, you have to understand is that scarcity creates value. Okay. It's the same thing. If you look at the law of supply and demand, okay, scarce resources cost more because they're harder to get. Right. But if you're easy to get, you're a lower value guy. You're subcommunicating lower value. Okay. When your time, energy, and attention are scarce, women subconsciously assign you higher value because not every man is a prize worth earning. Okay. It's the same thing. You've got to be a scarce resource so that you have higher perceived value. Okay. The truth is, though, that a lot of guys do this at first as game, right? Like they don't really have anything else going on. But the more you do this sort of thing, the more you stop focusing on texting, the more you stop focusing on trying to occupy or have her occupy your nights every single night of the week when you just met her. The less you do that kind of stuff, the more you have more time to start working on your purpose in life, and you actually do start raising your value. That's why I say when you level up and get better with women, it improves your life in all areas because you stop doing all the unattractive stuff you were doing before, and now you start working on making more money. You start working on your social life. You start working on dressing better. You start working on all these kinds of things that improve your life. Start going to the gym more. That improves your health and stuff, right? So the less you're chasing these women, the more time you have to actually improve your life, and your life gets better. And then you just become more attractive to women. It's a win-win for everybody. Guys, I want to hear from you. When was the last time being too available backfired on you? Let me know in the chat or the comments if you're watching the replay, okay? When was the last time being too available backfired on you? Okay, let me know. Now, mystery triggers obsession, okay? Uncertainty makes a woman think about you more. So like I said in that texting example, the guy who wasn't texting her all week, she was constantly thinking about that guy because she's like, where's this guy? What's he doing? I gave him my number. He texted me once. This guy's blowing up my phone. What's this other guy doing? If you've got to get her thinking about you. The more she thinks about you, the more her attraction's rising. Okay. The less she knows, the more her imagination fills in the blanks. That's what makes passive dread work so well. Okay. Because you got to do this stuff in your long-term relationship too. You got to keep playing the game. And most of you guys are in dead bedroom situations in your marriage because you stop playing the game. Okay. You got to introduce this type of scarcity and managing your time and having time away from your girl so that she has time to wonder about you in the relationship, because that keeps her invested. Okay. That's why passive dread works so well. But this reminds me of when I first met Nurse Chick. Okay. When I first met Nurse Chick, it's one of the funniest stories. I love talking to Nurse Chick about this stuff after the fact, right? Because you typically can't let women in on the world, right? On the game. You can't let women in on the game because the observer effect changes the effect, right? But Nurse Chick going down the rabbit hole of trying to figure me out, found the podcast and found my TikToks and all that kind of stuff. And she's been like my biggest fan ever since, right? So she's in on the game. But the funny thing is that now that she's seen the game, she can't unsee the game, and she finds it funny and she finds it amusing. And then she looks back at when we first got together and first started dating, and she looks at how it all worked on her. And she's like, this is amazing. Right. But one of the things that she told me was when we first started dating, she sent me a friend request on Facebook, and I declined it. And I texted her and I said, hey, I just saw your Facebook friend request. I'm not ready for that yet. Right. I didn't want her to see my personal life yet. And it was driving her nuts. She's like, I can't figure this guy out. I don't know anything about this guy. What's up with this guy? And she goes and one of her sisters does her eyelashes and stuff, and like every couple of weeks, and she's at her eyelash appointment with her sister, and she's like, I can't figure this guy out. He won't be my Facebook friend. Like, what's up with this guy? And that caused her to be freaking an FBI agent and go down this internet rabbit hole trying to figure me out. That's how she found the podcast. That's how she found TikToks. And she's still here going on 5 years later. But it works. It works. It causes them to want to invest in figuring you out. Okay. If you give everything away and you're an open book and you just tell women everything, they have nothing to figure out anymore. It's like you gave away the ending of the story, and you gave her a spoiler and you ruined it for her. Okay. They want to feel like they're in a love story trying to figure you out. Okay. That's, if you look at any kind of sleazy sex novel, that's literally every sleazy sex novel, storyline is this guy that they can't quite pin down, they can't quite figure out, and she gets so frustrated trying to figure him out and stuff. But all those emotions are building investment. Okay. Predictability kills attraction. When a man becomes too available, too routine, or too easy to read, he removes the tension that drives desire. She's figured you out. You've become a boring guy. Right. And she needs this constant stimulation. A lot of like MGTOW guys get pissed at that. And they're like, oh, so we're just all supposed to be fucking dancing monkeys around here trying to entertain the women folk. Like, no, actually just remove your time and attention. You don't have to be a dancing monkey. Okay. Just be a busy guy with a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean? My son, I love this. I love this about my son. My son's learning all this stuff from me, and he's picking up these tidbits. And and he's running game on girls at school now, and he's seeing how it works. And so he keeps coming back for more. So Dad, tell me more about this sort of thing. And his girlfriend, this freshman that he's been dating, she gets mad at him because he's a busy guy and he's maintaining his social life, and he's not just spending all of his time with her and stuff like that. And I was like, you do have to sprinkle a little bait on it and go spend some time with her, maybe once, one day a week, but otherwise, yeah, be a busy guy. And when she complains about it, just be very cocky funny with it. Be like, well, everyone wants a piece of this. What do you want? I'm a busy guy. What can I say? I'm a busy guy, right? Don't apologize for it. All right. You can't be predictable. You got to keep them on their toes. They got to be like wondering what's up with you. The more that they're trying to figure out what's going on because you're not so available, the more the hamster wheel works in your favor, bro. Right? That's like I said, that's how dread works, right? Speaking of dread, I've been running a promotion all month long. Dread20, code Dread20 at checkout gets you 20% off. That code expires this Friday, guys. She used to watch you, hang on your words, crave your presence. Now, she barely notices when you enter the room. And if she does, it's with eyes full of boredom. You've tried being softer. You've tried being sweeter. You've tried everything they said would work, and still nothing. The truth no one wants to say out loud: she doesn't miss you because there's nothing to miss. But what if you can make her feel the fear of losing you without saying a word? This isn't manipulation. It's psychological contrast. It's healthy anxiety. It's passive dread. Rebuild tension, reignite her curiosity, make her jealous of the life you're living without her at the center. You don't chase desire. You become the man it fears losing. Visit dread.fixdeadbedrooms.com now and take the course. Don't wait for her to act different. Take action for yourself. Guys, there's a lot of guys out there. They're in a dead bedroom situation. I saw a statistic. I don't know how accurate the statistic is, but this lady on X was saying that something like 50% of all marriages end up in a dead bedroom situation. So there's a lot of guys suffering out there. And when you ask them, like, what have you tried to fix it? Because I see guys in the comments on these videos all the time talking about how it's been like 5 years, 9 years, whatever. And I'm like, what have you tried to do to fix it? And they almost always say, I've tried everything. And you go, okay, well, what is everything? And they're like, oh, I've tried being a better communicator. I've tried helping her around the house more. I've tried all the blue pill shit they tell you to do. Okay. And it never works. And I go, well, I guarantee you haven't tried dread. I guarantee it. Okay. So if you're in a dead bedroom situation and you think you've tried everything, it's time to try dread. Okay. It's time to try passive dread, and you'll find that it sounds nefarious, but it's actually, you're not doing anything wrong. And that's what I love about passive dread. You're not doing anything inherently wrong. You're just being an attractive guy that women can't figure out. Okay. Now we got a bunch of people in the chat here. Nurse Chick's in the house. You know what? Nurse Chick always gets this.
So naughty.
She is naughty.
I'm gonna come.
Looking me up online, trying to figure me out. Brother Nathan's in the house. Let's go. He says, get Nurse Chick's book. Yes, indeed. Nurse Chick has a book for women. So if your wife's not fucking you, you need to send her this book. And by the way, he also says, get Wolfpack. We're saving lives. We are saving lives in here. And you know what else? Brother Nathan just dropped a new book too on divorce and divorce strategy. It's called Divorce is War. It just dropped on Amazon last night. If you guys are getting ready to go into a divorce situation because you couldn't turn your marriage around and you're getting ready to deal with that kind of nonsense, divorce is war. She's not your friend. She's your adversary. You need to get Nathan's book, okay? when's it going to be out on Audible, Nathan? I'm going to meet up with Nathan on Friday. We're going to record a pre-recorded podcast for the following week on Wednesday. And it's going to be about his book. So if you guys are going through a divorce situation, you'll learn more about it then. We'll also find out when it's going to be available on Audible, you son of a bitch. Okay. I'm getting more like Aaron Clary, where I'm like, I'm not reading all that. I'll wait till it comes out in audio. All right. Let's see here. Hold on. Eric Von Eric is in the house. I swear to God, your name looks different now, but I recognize that avatar. Erkin's in the house. Good day, Erkin. CW's in the house. What's good, gents and nurse chick? Mike says you can drool all over women, but that comes later. Oh, let's see here. Bill again. You know what? You know what it is? It's I'm not seeing people's usernames now. I'm seeing your guys' like handles. That's so weird. Okay. All right. That's so weird. Must be a StreamYard thing. I don't get it. Oh, and Alex Patino's in the house. What's up, you British cigarettes? All right. What up, boys? What's going on, man? Okay, let's get back to this. Emotional restraint is magnetic. Okay, a man who can stay composed instead of oversharing or overreacting communicates strength and emotional control. This is why understanding and handling shit tests and frame checks or whatever you want to call it, it's why it's so important, because women will test you to see how you react to stuff. Okay, we call these shit tests, and it's not women being shitty. It's them seeing if you have your shit together. And if you're someone that has no emotional control, you'll get pissed off really easily and get mad at them, and you'll look at it like it's disrespect and fuck that. A woman disrespects me, fuck that, right? And you're going to get all mad. You've already failed. You've already failed. But a guy that she can't rattle because you're like, whatever, lady, right? It subcommunicates options. It's one of those things where women can, it's one of those things where women can tell if you're good with women when you don't get mad at women behavior, right? It's because like women are like, oh, he must be good with women because he's not getting mad at my dumb shit. And women have dumb shit, and they know they do dumb shit. They know it. they know it. Have you seen the graph? I just posted this the other day. I retweeted it on X, but it was like the graph of men's their hormone levels, and it's just like steady, constant, like testosterone. It's just do, right? But women's like the progesterone and all this kind of shit is going on all at once. It's like that's what makes women crazy. And so a guy who doesn't climb on to that nonsense, women love that. They're like, oh, I can't rattle this guy. I can't get my way with this guy. He makes me feel safe and secure, right? That's kind of what that does. Silence is seductive. When you say less, pause longer, and let moments breathe, you create space for curiosity, and that curiosity is addictive. This is something that I've had a hard problem with. This is one of the hardest things that I had to deal with when it came to dating, is shutting up more. I have a podcast. Like you can see, I like to run my mouth. Okay, like people that don't like to run their mouths don't have podcasts. You know what I mean? And so going out and letting women do 80% of the talking was hard for me because I love running my mouth. Like ask Nurse Chick doesn't talk. So she just lets me run my mouth and she doesn't have anything to say. And if I let her do 80% of the talking, we would do zero talking because she doesn't talk. She's a unicorn that way. The closest thing to a unicorn. But I had to force myself to do that. And one of the ways I did that was I would just tell myself, she doesn't care. She doesn't care, bro. Right? So anytime something came up in the conversation where I felt like I needed to say something and add my 2 cents and my experience with that or whatever, I would just tell myself, she doesn't care. She doesn't care, bro. Right? And most of the time women don't. They don't give a shit about your opinion, which is, it's sad. And a lot of guys get all butthurt by it. But do you want to have sex or not? Okay? Because you got to look at the end goal here. You got to play the long game. Do you want to have sex or not? So just assume they don't give a shit. Okay. And just don't say anything. All right. Just say, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's, tell me more about your experience with that. Right. And just get them talking about it more. And you'll find that women that truly are interested in you are going to recognize that you haven't said anything, and they're going to want a dick. They're going to want to pull it out of you. Let them pull it out of you. Okay? Because the less you tell them, the more they have to pull it out, and the more effort they have to exert pulling the shit out of you, the more invested they get. Okay? I'm telling you guys, I'm straight up telling you guys, do you want these women obsessed with you or not? Okay, because if the answer is yes, like you want a girl that's going to knife your tires and fucking key your car. this is the way. This is the way, boys. This is the way. But I'm just fucking around. But honestly, saying less actually is more with women. Let them do all the heavy lifting. A lot of guys are like, I don't know what to say around girls. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to say shit. Say less, right? You know what show I really love right now is Dexter. My son got me into Dexter, and I've been like binge watching Dexter every night. And one of the things I realized about Dexter is he's a psychopath, right? He's a total sociopath, psychopath, and he's got those dark triad traits. And so like the chicks in the show love him because he's dark triad. He's a freaking serial killer, right? But you'll find in his interactions, because he's a serial killer and he's trying not to give away all the crap he's doing, he shuts the fuck up. And then you see these women just trying to get it out of him, right? I don't know what's eating at him. He's so dark and brooding. I don't get it. There's a reason why dark triad traits work. Guys, if you're getting value out of these episodes, do consider sending a super chat, would you? You got to understand, attention is currency. Rollo said it really well. Attention is the coin of the realm in girl world. Okay, so every time you give your attention too freely, you lower its market value. You lower your market value by giving away your attention so free. Right, the man she has to earn attention from, she thinks about all the time. Alan Roger Curry, the late great Alan Roger Curry, the guy who came up with Mode 1. Okay, Mode 1 is direct game, basically. Alan Roger Curry was a genius, and one of the things that he said in one or multiple of his Mode 1 books, I can't remember exactly which one, but he was saying how women look at men who give away their time and attention too easily the same way men look at women who give sex away too easily. Okay, like we look at women who give away sex too easily like sluts, right? Sleuts. I don't know. I'm probably going to get demonetized for that. We look at them like sleuty sleuts. Okay. Well, I mean, if you get rid of that Madonna whore complex, you'll embrace that a little bit better. But women understand this, right? That's why women will make rules for guys that they're not that sexually attracted to, and they'll break them for guys that they're totally sexually attracted to. Okay, because they know that a lot of guys are overly concerned about body count and all that kind of stuff, and so they'll pretend to be wholesome and like, oh no, I don't just sleep with any guy and stuff like that, because they know that guys are judging them for that very thing. Well, they're judging you for giving your time and attention away too easily. Alan Roger Curry said, women look at you like you're a trick. You're a trick if you give your time and attention away too easily. Okay. And busy men are just overall more desirable to women. Busy guys are desirable. They're a full life, goals, hobbies, friends. They signal your identity doesn't revolve around her. She likes to see that you have this exciting life going on with or without her. You're going to be doing all this cool shit, you know? And women just want to join a guy's lifestyle. Most women have the personality of an apple. I hate to say it, but most women have nothing going on. And if it isn't for the guys in their life, they wouldn't do shit. They wouldn't do anything exciting. Okay. It's like, if you ever see a chick who's traveling the world, she's on Instagram and she's on like boats and she's traveling and she's, you know, living her best life. A dude's taking her on that shit. A dude's paying for all that, right? Dudes take women to do fun and exciting things. Women otherwise would live boring fucking lives. Okay. So they want a guy who's busy, that has friends, has social circles, goals, hobbies, all this kind of stuff. He's a busy guy. Plus a guy who is working on his purpose. He's making money. He's making moves. He's making business deals and stuff like that. All that kind of shit's attractive. It's not the money. It's the overall appearance of a successful guy. Okay. You've got to build this awesome life for yourself. Dr. Robert Glover said, you got to bake a great cake of a life for yourself, and women can only be the icing. Brother Nathan in the chat, he doesn't like cake. He's a cake hater. He's a cake hating son of a bitch. He says, I love Nathan. Nathan's white. He goes back to, he's one of my old school 3% brothers. Nathan likes to use the sundae analogy, right? Where like you have this delicious ice cream and you put all this ice, like, toppings and shit on it. Women are the cherry on top, right? But even without that cherry, you still have this awesome fucking ice cream dish to eat, right? And he's like, cake without frosting is like fucking, bread with extra steps, right? He does not like the cake analogy. But yeah, so busy guys are more desirable. Speaking of Brother Nathan, he is in the wolf pack. He's one of my wolf pack brothers. He's one of my like OG wolf pack brothers. There's some guys that have been in the pack since the very beginning, back when it was Beer Club. Like they've been in the pack for years, just leveling up. We got guys in there absolutely fucking killing it at life. This Saturday we have monthly pod classes, private pod classes. And one of the guys, Brother Omega, who's lost tons of weight, he's getting laid left and right. He's just leveling up in all areas. He's one of my success stories in the wolf pack. He had the audacity to say that he's never seen a fucking James Bond movie. Can you believe that shit? Who here, drop in the chat if you've never seen a James Bond movie. Okay. Like, let me know. Let me know. Because if you've never seen a James Bond movie, you need to get in the fucking wolf pack now, because Saturday for our pod class, we're going to have a watch party of the movie GoldenEye. And we'd love to have you in the pack. You can join now. It's a 7-day free trial.
Beer club? Not anymore.
Home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not ever. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. Truth, fire, presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
Yes. Mike Steele says, can confirm Nurse Chick is very quiet. Yes. Mike's one of the few guys on the planet that's actually met Nurse Chick. We went down to Vegas and hung out with him and Clary. We all went to a steakhouse. It was good. Let's see here. When it comes to staying silent, walk softly and carry a big stick. Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt used to fight bears and shit. That dude. This dude is teaching y'all how to find stalker chicks. It's called genuine desire, sir. Every time a gal has come over to my place on a first date, they have always said, I don't usually do this. I know. They all say that, right? If he hates cake, he can try Turkish baklava. You got to make a Turkish baklava of your life, guys. Women can only be I don't know what goes on Turkish baklava. I can't believe you chose GoldenEye to pop his Bond cherry instead of Goldfinger from. Well, so here's the thing. First of all, From Russia with Love, I think is better than Goldfinger. So that's one. But two, GoldenEye is more modern. I didn't want to pop his young millennial cherry with something old school from the 60s. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where like new kids are like, ugh, I I'm watching something from the 80s. That's disgusting, right? Like, that's how my kids act, right? Anything older than the 2000s, my kids can't even watch. They just can't. And so I assume Omega is very much the same way. So I was like, you know what, though? Pierce Brosnan, in my opinion, Pierce Brosnan had the perfect mix of Sean Connery's charm and Roger Moore's like sort of humor. You know what I mean? Like he mixed them very well. And so that's why I really like GoldenEye. And GoldenEye came out when I was in high school. And so it's kind of my favorite Pierce Brosnan outing. So that's why I picked that one. And let's see here. I used to watch the James Bond movie marathon that TNT channel used to put on back in the late. They still do it. They still have a James Bond marathon for New Year's. They always have like the or they do like the 21 days of Bond for Christmas or some shit like that. I don't know how they do that, but they still do that. Oh, you need one with Bond slapping the woman, right? Oh yeah, that's what I say from Russia with Love's perfect. Is you give them a little slap, right? CW dropped a too sweet, brother. All right. Hopefully. Oh, by the way, this is going to be one of the weird, the rare times when I'm doing a private pod class for the Wolfpack, where like the Wolfpack's like welcome to join me on StreamYard so that they can add their commentary to it too and ask their questions and stuff and not have to drop it in the chat. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I hope to see you guys there. All right, where are we at here? Unavailability creates pursuit. So when a woman isn't sure where she stands, she invests more emotionally and mentally just to try to figure you out. We sort of talked about that already. You become the mental puzzle, right? Like I keep sort of alluding to this. The more she's thinking about you, the more she's wondering what you're doing, the more she wonders about you, the more invested she gets, right? It's been scientifically proven that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. Okay. It's been science. Okay, guys, it's science. You trust the science, right? That there's a consensus on. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, Google it. Do a Google search for it. I first read about that in Corey Wayne's book, How to Be a 3% Man. But when you Google it, you can actually find the studies on it. And it's fascinating because what it means is if a woman, the way they did it was they gave women pictures, right, of men, and the men were all relatively attractive. But the guys that said that I don't like this chick, well, they didn't like him back. Fuck that guy, right? And a guy who was like, yeah, I like her. She was like, oh, that's nice, right? But the guys who were like unsure, she's like, why? Why are they unsure about me? Like, and so then women want to prove themselves more, right? The more you can get a girl qualifying herself to you, the more invested she's going to get. Pickup artists used to do that all the time. If you do a Google search or a YouTube search rather for the legendary pickup artist Style, better known as Neil Strauss, the author of the book The Game, he was on a show. I think it was Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and Jessica Alba was on the show, and he they asked him to do one of his pickup artist tricks on Jessica Alba, who's are arguably one of the hottest women in Hollywood, or at least she used to be. She's still pretty cute, but and so he goes, well, if you remove your beauty and your beauty and your feminine good looks, like what do you have to offer a man in a relationship, right? And she goes, oh well, I'm very kind, I'm very nurturing, I'm a good cook, right? Like all this kind of stuff forced her to qualify herself. Like women aren't used to doing that. They're used to guys going, I have a good job, I make good money, and look at me, and look at my life, look at my car, and look at all this kind of stuff. Aren't I great boyfriend material? And that actually lowers your value when you're qualifying yourself to other people. And the thing is that women's hypergamous nature requires you to be seen as above her in some way. So she must qualify herself to a guy that she sees as above her in some way in order to feel attracted. She has to. So give that to her, right? But you become a mental puzzle. She replays your words, your pauses, your actions. The ambiguity keeps her emotional system firing long after the conversation ends. What did he mean by that? What? Is he seeing other women? I wouldn't like it if he, but I mean, it would make sense. He's a very handsome guy, right? Like you get that hamster wheel going. That's your best friend. This is one of the reasons why, even though direct game works, mode 1 absolutely works. Okay. Like, it's funny. If you ever find a guy, if you ever find like a dating coach and they're like, my way is the only way, they're selling you something. Okay. The thing is about all this stuff, right? All the stuff that we talk about in the red pill space is it all works. You just got to figure out what works best for you. Like what's more comfortable for you to do. Okay. If direct game and getting into a woman's left ear zone and telling her you want to get her pussy all wet and all that, whatever, and just go direct there because you're just trying to smash all the time, like that, do it. That it works. Okay. It doesn't work with all women, but none of the stuff works with all women, right? If you look at the book, The Game, the pickup artists were targeting specific women that they thought would respond the best to the shit they were doing. Okay. They weren't just running game on like, schoolgirls and not schoolgirls, but you know what I mean? Like nuns and shit. Like they weren't going to like a Christian school and running this stuff. You know what I mean? Like a Christian college, I should say. They were going to clubs and looking for women in provocative clothes with hoop earrings and all that kind of stuff. Cause they were like, oh, those chicks are sluts anyway. Let's run this game on them. Okay. But I think, if you want to maximize your success, this kind of stuff, indirect game and letting their hamster wheel works on more women than direct game or the pickup artistry stuff does. I think this works with a vast majority of women. Okay. So if you want to maximize your success rate, I think indirect game actually works better. I would argue that. Now, Alan Roger Curry is not here to argue against me, but he would completely disagree. Just know that. He was a good dude. I was very fortunate to get to interview that guy before he passed away because he was a fucking genius. By the way, guys, I'm on all the different social media platforms. The links are in the description for that. If you guys are on Facebook, the links are not in the description. So just go follow me on X, would you? Because Facebook fucking sucks. I'm supposed to be out of Facebook jail. I'm able to stream directly to Facebook again, but they still have me demonetized for some reason, and they were supposed to lift that on Saturday, and they still haven't. So that's what super chats are for, guys. If you can send a super chat, I'd appreciate it. Mike says, for $5, while not the best film, Dr. No had one of the best lines. That's a Smith & Wesson, and you've had your 6. Pop, pop. Yes, that's true. Yeah, Dr. No is not my favorite Bond movie. It's just not that good. I just didn't think it was very good for a first one. And it wasn't even the first book. Casino Royale was the first book. So I'm glad when they started over with Daniel Craig that they did Casino Royale, and they finally made a decent Casino Royale movie, because they did make a Casino Royale back in the 60s, but it was a total farce comedy, and it just fucking ruined. It's spit in the face of James Bond. You know what I mean? It's totally disrespectful. Anyway, Mike gave me a $5 super chat. I'm going to give him this.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
He definitely fucks for that. Erkin says, what is difference between direct and indirect game? Or what exactly are they? So direct game means you're not leaving anything up to the imagination. You're just walking up to a chick and you're just saying what you think. Okay. So direct game doesn't always have to be sexual, though. So direct game could be as simple as walking up to a girl saying, hey, I thought you were cute, and I'd kick myself if I didn't ask for your number, right? Like you're just being direct and you're asking for her number. Indirect game would be you walk up and you start a conversation and start chit-chatting and trying to build rapport, and then you ask for a number, right? Like that's indirect game. So hopefully that helps. Oh, shit. We've got, hold on. It's Kronas, right? Kronas, is that what this is? Swedish Kronas, $10 Swedish krona. I'm going to give him this one here.
Respect the cock and tame the cunt.
Exactly what we do here on the podcast. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. overexposure kills mystique. So constant texting, updates, and emotional dumping eliminates suspense. You want to leave her wondering what you're up to. Okay. So this is why we say texting is for logistics. Okay. We had a brother in Wolfpack over the weekend where he's like kind of crashing out over, God bless this guy, you know, he's working on all this stuff, but he's crashing out because this girl that he's been seeing for the last several months hasn't texted him in a couple of days. And I guess he hasn't broken that addiction to fucking texting every day yet. Right. But that's the goal. You don't want to be texting all the time. You want to save texting and phone calls for logistics, right? Setting definite dates up for meeting them in person. Okay. Here's the thing. You got to understand it from an equal value situation when it comes to relationship. And whether you like it or not, relationships are transactional at some level. Okay. If you're texting a girl and you're talking to her on the phone for hours at night and all the stuff when you're not seeing her, she's getting all the value. She's getting her emotional cup filled. You are just, pouring your emotional cup into hers and her cup's getting filled and you're not getting shit. Okay. You can't even smell her perfume. Guys are very physical. Like, we want to smell her perfume. We want to make out with her. We want to have sex with her. We want to do stuff physically in person. And we're getting none of that. And she's getting all the emotional shit. You're getting none of the physical shit. Okay. It's one of the reasons why long distance relationships are a fucking terrible idea. Okay. Because she gets her emotional cup filled, but you get none of your physical cup filled. Okay. So in order to even that out a little bit, you keep the texting and phone calls between meetups limited to just setting up meetups. And then you can't really truly get to know a person over text or phone calls anyway. You have to talk to them in person. That's where you truly get to see everything. You see their body language. You get to see all their faculties. You get to see their facial expressions when you say something and they don't like it. You can actually read that on their face. You can't get that kind of shit over text or phone call, right? You can get some of that over FaceTime maybe, but you're not going to get the physical stuff. You don't get to smell her perfume. It really doesn't benefit you to be a fucking emotional tampon for these chicks. Okay. So cut that shit out. Don't text so fucking much and save that stuff for in person. Okay. You'll have more to talk about when you're in person anyway. Indifference is power. Indifference makes a difference is what Corey Wayne says. Being calm and unbothered doesn't make you cold. It shows that you're centered, grounded, and not needy. Really, it also shows her that you're not going to climb on her emotional roller coaster. There's basically two ways to handle shit. I should say there's more than one way to handle a shit test, but the two best ways, the two easiest accessible ways for most guys is agree and amplify and indifference. Right. And as long as you're the kind of guy that she can't rattle, she can't knock you off center, a guy that she can't get her way with, indifference is a good way of handling this until you can master, agree, and amplify. Because a lot of guys aren't quick on their feet. So until then, you got to act like nothing she says bothers you. Now, this isn't like shutting her down and giving her silent treatment. That's not what indifference means. Okay. Indifference means you're like she says something to you and you're like, that's interesting. Right. Like that's indifference. It's not shutting down completely. It's like a great example of this. This chick who's a mutual friend of Nurse Chicks and mine, and I used to go running with her every day. Her name is Tyrene, and Tyrene's throwing a really awesome like Halloween party this Friday that Nurse Chick and I are going to. And Tyrene, like she's an ultimate fucking shit tester. She's just shit testing constantly. And she's like always throwing playful barbs at me. She's always like saying like some of this shit. She does that. She's dating this guy who owns a winery up here. And it's funny, Nurse Chick and I went and had dinner with them. And like, she's just saying like the meanest shit to this guy. And I'm just like, man, I could never be with this chick. She's such a bitch. Right. Like she's fun as a friend, but I could never be in a fucking romantic relationship with her. Fuck that. But anyway, she's always throwing the shit at me. And so I often do agree and amplify, but other times she'll say stuff at me where I'm just like, huh, that's an interesting point of view. Right. And that I just treat a lot of her stuff with indifference. Right. But the thing is that once you'll hear people say amused mastery is a good way of handling this stuff. When you master indifference, when you master agree and amplify, amused mastery comes naturally. Because what happens is, what is amused mastery? Amused mastery is where you've seen it all before, so you find it funny, right? That's what amused mastery is. But most guys, when they're still learning this stuff, they haven't got to a place where they find the shit tests amusing. They still find it disrespectful. So just being indifferent is like the next best thing. And then once they get good at indifference and they get good quick on their feet, then they find that agree and amplify actually turns into playful banter, and that leads to sex. So that's even better, right? But then once you see all the shit, you start noticing you'll see the same patterns. You'll see women give the same shit tests. And when you've actually seen every shit test out there, they all look the same, right? It's like seeing the code in the Matrix. Like you've seen it all before, and it's funny. It's like, oh, this is fucking hilarious that they're doing this, right? That's where amused mastery comes from. By the way, guys, where is this at? If you want to work with me directly, you can book a call. Go to call.fixeddeadbedrooms.com. So women feel attraction through emotion, not logic. Okay. You don't win her through explanations. You win her through how she feels around you, and unpredictability fuels that emotion. Does that make sense? Okay. Because this is why we say don't dear, right? Don't defend, explain, excuse, rationalize to women, because you can't logic women into the bedroom. You can't do that. It just doesn't work. Women have to feel something for you. They have to feel attracted for you. They have to feel that sexual tension in order to want to have sex with you. Okay. Now here's the thing. A lot of times you'll hear women say, I need to feel an emotional connection before I have sex. Okay. That's not true. That's not true. Why do you think they bang guys like on the first date in the Waffle House parking lot? They felt an emotional connection with that guy? No, they felt like extreme attraction and lust for that guy. Okay. So that's what women mean when they need to feel emotionally connected before having sex with you. They need to have their attraction up enough to where they'll have sex with you. It always starts with attraction. Okay. It's not emotional connection. You need to feel like love and deep connection before having. That's bullshit. It's fucking a lie. It's a lie. Don't believe that shit. AI is going to clip this. AI is going to clip this because I always say, find the most shocking and triggering thing and put that as a clip. When I put out that women don't need an emotional connection, they just need to feel attracted to you enough to fuck you. That's going to trigger some people. Okay. Drama is her adrenaline, right? So a bit of tension keeps her engaged. If her emotional waters are calm for too long, she'll subconsciously stir them. This is basically an idea of Rollo, right? Rollo says like women need drama. They need drama. And if they don't have drama, they'll create it. So the best way to handle that kind of shit is to control the drama, control the chaos a little bit. And this is your job as a man who's setting the tone and leading his relationship. You need to be her dopamine drug dealer, right? You need to be the guy that gives her the just enough drama, right? But it's controlled in a way where she feels something that, that makes her feel alive. And then she wants to bang your brains out. Okay. This is where, Rollo says it in Player's Handbook. I think it's kind of funny in there where he's like, every once in a while, women need to see like you lose your shit. Right. So he's like, if you're at a restaurant and they don't cook your steak right, like it's a good time to say, take the shit back. This is not good enough. Right. So that she can feel the drama and it's controlled chaos. Right. In that situation, I'm one of those guys, like, have you ever seen the movie Waiting where they like, you know, the lady's being an epic bitch about the food. And so they take it in the back and they start hawking loogies on it and like putting dandruff in it and like pubic hairs on her food and shit. Like I personally believe it's a bad idea to fuck with people who handle your food. So that example is probably not the best one, but you get what I'm saying. You gotta stir up a little bit of shit. You gotta stir up a little bit of shit, but just enough to where she gets that drama need met, so that she's not creating destructive drama on her own. Because women are like children. At the end of the day, you got to control it. And canceled. Okay. Mystery protects your frame. So the less access people have to your private world, the more they respect it. Women can't idolize what's fully revealed. You know what I mean? Like it just goes back to them needing to figure you out, them not wanting you to give the whole story away. Unavailability amplifies pre-selection. So, okay. So if you guys hear me talk about, you need to spin plates, a lot of guys, their number one retort is, I have a hard enough time meeting one woman. How am I supposed to get multiple women? I lay it out in my first book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. But until you get multiple women, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about sub-communicates that you might already have women, even if you don't. Okay. Women, like their hamster wheel will start working and they start thinking like, maybe, you know, he's probably got options because he's acting like a guy who has options. A lot of this stuff is about acting like a guy who has options because you want her to think that you do, because pre-selection is a major attraction trigger for women. And what's pre-selection? Like it's their evolutionary wiring that they like men who other women like. It's the reason why married guys get hit on all the time. It's because that ring on your finger shows this woman that another woman liked you enough to get locked down, right? And so therefore he's now more attractive because he's a guy that's at least gotten to a place where he's gotten married, right? And this is why women have like no respect for incels. Like you see on X, I love picking on this account, the incel.is account on X. They've got like 1 million followers, and so many guys are just, they suck with women and they just commiserate together on that thing. Women don't give a shit about any of that stuff. Those guys are so unattractive to them because they don't get pussy that women just don't give a shit about them. That's why those guys crying all the time is completely a waste of time. It's a waste of their time. Instead of trying to figure out how to do better with women, they cry online, which just further dries up vaginas because women can tell guys who don't get laid, right? And if a girl can like at least thinks that you don't get laid, you're not going to get laid. She's not going to fuck you. She's like, why should I fuck this guy? No other chick wants to fuck him. Right. Whereas guys are different. Guys are like, this chick hasn't had a whole bunch of sex with a bunch of dudes. Like that's more attractive to guys. It's not attractive to women. It's totally opposite. Certainty kills the thrill. When she's 100% sure she has you, the chase ends. Desire lives in uncertainty. Keep enough mystery to maintain that spark. That's exactly why a lot of guys are in dead bedroom situations. That's exactly why a lot of guys are in dead bedroom situations. Because when you put a ring on it, you oftentimes remove a woman's competition anxiety. She's like, I've got him locked down. I've got a ring on it. And then when you constantly reassure her that you're never going to cheat on her, I'm not saying, I'm one of those guys that I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea to cheat. Okay. I'm one of the few red pill guys in the space that's like, I don't think that's a good idea. I won't tell you not to do it because red pills, we take morals out of it and you got to be your own mental point of origin, do what you think is best for you. I personally don't recommend it. Okay. But you don't have to. You don't have to. That's why I created the passive dread blueprint. The passive dread isn't about going out and cheating. It's about making her think that you could cheat. Okay. It's about being such an attractive guy that's got a lot of shit going on. And you're sub-communicating to her that you could have options, right? It doesn't mean that you are exercising those options, right? But she needs to have that competition anxiety to want to continue to invest. But a lot of you guys put that ring on it and you reassure her constantly that you would never do that. And once she's like, oh, I don't have to do anything. He's never going to leave. He's never going to cheat on me. I don't have to fuck him anymore. You know, a lot of women like will, nurse chick calls it bobbing for diamonds. A lot of chicks will do all the freaky, kinky shit like when you're dating. And then as soon as you put a ring on it, they stop doing it because they don't have to anymore. Because they only did that stuff in order to get you locked in, right? And locked down. So you can't ever give them that reassurance. You can't. You got to, if you want them to keep investing, you have to be, that's what the passive dread blueprint teaches, okay? So the final truth here, the real secret isn't pretending to be unavailable. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, a lot of this is going to be game at first, especially if you've never done any of this stuff. A lot of it is going to feel like you're playing games. Okay. But most of the stuff that I teach on the podcast isn't about playing games. It's about breaking unattractive habits and creating new, more attractive habits. Okay. So the less you're available to her, the more you got to find something to do to occupy your time. And the more you have available to occupy your time, the more chances you're going to start focusing on your career. You're going to start going to the gym more. Like, I don't have anything to do tonight. I guess I better go to the gym. You're going to start building up social circles so you have other things to do. Okay. Eventually, you will get to a place where you are living this fucking awesome life and you are too busy to text all the time. And that's really where you want to be. You don't want this to be a game. You want to make this a part of who you are. Everything I talk about on the podcast is about making this stuff a part of who you are, reprogramming your paradigm so you do this stuff effortlessly by habit. Because the more you do this stuff effortlessly by habit, the less you have to think about it, and the more attractive you'll naturally be, and women will just be into it. They'll love how you move through this world. You feel me, dog? Okay. Oh shit, we got some more super chats here. Let's see here. Only Vulcans can logic a woman into bed. You're not a Vulcan, and Vulcans are real. You can mind meld with them, right? Is that how that works? I'm gonna give him. He sent 2 super chats, so I'm gonna give him the titties today. Just, I'm probably gonna get demonetized, but he sent 2 of these, so I'm gonna give him the titties.
Thank you for the super chats. Boobies bouncing, can't stop that. From the east to the west, you are the best. Keep those chats coming in, let's do it all again.
God bless him. And then Dar Fitness sent a $5 super chat. He says, "Happy Wednesday, gentlemen. Never believe a word they say. Watch what they do. It is the cheat. It really is the cheat code." So many guys get so frustrated with women. They're like, she said this, but now she's doing this. And I don't fucking get in the fucking mind games and the and the mixed signals. Fuck that shit, right? But it's like, oh, stop listening to them. Just stop. Just watch what they do. It'll tell you everything you need to know, and then you stop getting mad at them, right? I'm gonna give my man. Let's see here. I'm gonna give him. Let's see here. What do we got? What we got here? I'm gonna give him this one from Elena's Bars Fitness.
Shame this horse.
We want to shame these horse. Yes. And he says, "Do the evil laugh when you say dopamine dealer." Oh, you mean this one? Guys, you got to be their dopamine drug dealer. Okay. Yes. The goal is to become the game. And Rolo says that too, right? Rolo says you have to become the game. That means you wire this shit into your subconscious so you do it without thinking about it. Then you are the game, right? You are the game. It's just who you are, just what you do. All right, guys, that's all I got. Tune into the podcast Friday for Frame Friday. We're going to talk about why you must believe. You must believe you are the prize. Or she's not. She's never going to believe you're the prize. A lot of guys talk about how, oh, we're the prize, men are the prize. Like, no, the fuck you're not. She will never believe that you are the prize until you believe it. And when you believe it, you'll carry yourself that way and she will believe it. Okay. We're going to talk about that more on Friday, but that's all I got. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll see you on Halloween.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.